So Keith Sweat is in the news, for basically saying some basic stuff, right? And they fought. I had someone argue with me back and forth on Twitter, and it was just, it's really just women trying to get attention from men. Honestly, that's most of why women be doing this shit, right? So we're gonna go ahead and play the clip, and we're gonna go ahead and react to it. So I'm not sure what inspired him to go on this rant, but here we go.
I don't know. I know y'all single women don't want to put yourself out there like that. It's all good. I don't mind telling you, I'm single. I done had too many entitlement things going on. I can't. You gotta bring son to the table to get son for me. I can't help it. They don't want to cook no more. I wash my own clothes. I iron my own clothes.
God damn, then you at 63 iron your own clothes. God damn. Whew.
You gotta do son for me. And I got to iron my own clothes and wash my own clothes and my mama told me how to iron, wash clothes.
This ain't got nothing to do with the performance, but yo, you hear them in the background?
I'm good. Sometimes at nighttime. Hey, friend. You know what I said, man? Sometimes at night.
You know what's funny about this clip is that it really flew over women's heads what he's saying. So I bring this up because again, it is the Western world's hustle to continue to trick men into, for the most part, taking a terrible deal. All right, and it's starting to become more and more apparent that modern women, like, they really like. I get, you know what it is too. A part of it is more households have been, I guess you could say, broken, but not. We have so many people who grew up in households where you didn't have your mother and father, or if your mother and father were in the house, your mother, they didn't teach you to have a positive outlook on your father, which makes you not respect your father, which makes you not listen to his leadership, and then you make him less confident. You have to pay attention to people who do. People make you feel less confident. You cannot be around. It's one thing if, like, you want to be confident in doing coke and meth. Now, of course, I want you being confident in that. But if you're trying to go to like computer school or or like not minor key, but an institution. I want you to be confident in that. But you cannot prosper if the people, especially as a father, as a man, you cannot afford to be around a woman who makes you feel like you're doing something wrong all the time. You cannot be around a woman who always has a complaint in her mouth. Because all she's going to do is basically keep pointing out things to you that aren't good about you. It's something different if there are things you can change right now. You know what I mean? Let's say, you can be, I don't know, saying good morning, you know what I mean? Being more cheerful, being more cleanly, being more organized, being more on time. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. Making time for a walk, eating a little more healthy. These are all things you can change right now. Someone telling you, well, why can't you just make more money? It's crazy. But hey, listen, that's a man's life, though. You know what I mean? Good thing I'm working on it, right? But anywho, that's a man's life. But what the women heard was basically they heard accountability. They heard someone asking the women, yo, Kim, I gotta do better. He wasn't saying I'm desperate for a woman. He never said I really want a woman. At no point in that conversation does he say, I really wish I had somebody. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm single. And he just said, I got so many entitlement things going on. You know what I mean? And he's big. And even in that moment, right? Because if it was a woman airing shit out, she would be telling you the deepest, darkest secret of whatever this guy she fucking with that she felt as though is either doing her wrong or giving her a raw deal. You know what I'm saying? Like she be calling nigga names. I mean, he be all types of broke ass niggas, lame, whatever. Right? What he basically was saying was like, yo, I stay by myself. I ain't finna be in no relationship if you can't bring anything to the table. And so what people immediately jumped to was, oh, well, that's why you shouldn't be dealing with these young women. This nigga ain't said nothing about age, and you ain't seen him out with no young women. He more than likely, he's a black guy. More than likely, the women he's dealing with are probably in their 40s. late 30s and 40s. They may be young, and if they are, so what? I don't know what universe you guys are from where all the older men with means date ugly women, ugly, unattractive old women. I don't know what, man. Again, it's one thing if he can't. Men are going to get with who they can get with. Obviously, if he's around young women, then he's able to get young women. I'm not saying every man could do it, but I mean, if you're a guy, right? We all grew up in high school. You observed girls that you thought were attractive were dealing with guys in their 20s. That wasn't unheard of. Now, the first time you heard it, you was like, really? Whoa. Right? Or most men, a lot of men, if they talk to their girl has an experience with being in high school and having a much older boyfriend. Even if he was a few years older, you know what I'm saying? But, that wasn't uncommon. Also, let's say, so in my case, right, the men of my family are very handsome. Pardon me. You know what I'm saying? So my father, you know what I'm saying, especially in his prime, really, really handsome guy, right? So those girls are around my age. And they made a point to let every time someone who knew me met my father, in so many words, they would be like, hey, Kassan, I really want to blow your dad. I would love to blow him. Oh my God. And I'm not hating on my pops, but like, it's like, that's because it wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't be like, in a way that's like a compliment to me. It was more like, and again, hey, shout out to him. Now, mind you, I'm young and up and coming, but listen, it was my dad's time. It's my time now. You know what I'm saying? I was telling my young boy earlier, I said, listen, go ahead and get your money up, get yourself together, because them girls at your age, them my girls, right? Because it's my time now. You know what I mean? Ain't your time yet, buddy. All right, but you need to be getting ready for your time because you want to spend way more time as a grown-ass man than you ever did as a young person. Once you're 30, you grown. Well, you grown now, but you're really grown. And growing is in, you're supposed to have certain shit, have accomplished certain things at 30. You understand? But anyway, going back to that plantation talk, man. So what this is about, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, Kevin Samuels had a brilliant broadcast or brilliant thought that he expressed, which was that older women discourage their daughters from dating older men because they're not in relationships. Black women are largely not in relationships in their older age. So therefore, they want to make sure that I want to make sure that's guys for us to date because they all dating young. Because there's always enough young women to go around for guys with me. So you drive a nice car, if you're in pretty good shape. Let's say someone my age, right? It's nothing for me to pull a woman all the way down to 21, 20. All right, even younger than that, because again, all young women and women in general, they're attracted to the same thing. They're attracted to masculine men who have means and status. Even men who aren't attractive. If you got enough status, you can be unattractive. You got enough status, that don't matter. I remember this. There's this that escort girl I follow. She's really funny. I remember she will post this African billionaire and call him her baby daddy just because he's rich and African. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds kind of funny, but she's serious. You feel me? But I remember she would post that and she would post him on his birthday and everything. This is all because he's a billionaire. You know what I mean? And he African. You know what I mean? And so anywho, just a little gem for you guys. So stay off that plantation, bro. Stay free. You know what I'm saying? And what Keith Sweat is also saying is that, I'm free. And when he went to the whole hey friend thing, what he's saying is that, he can still get him to come through. First of all, if a man got money, period, you always can get laid. But men don't like hearing this shit, and women don't like hearing it. Well, I'm sorry. Women condition, and this is another thing that we gotta talk about what role do women play in how cowardly and how bitch made and how soft and how undetermined a lot of men are. A lot of men don't realize you can't level up in life. You can't make a change in your life because you think like your mother. You think like a woman, meaning that in your mind, you don't think about what is the action I'm going to take. What am I going to do in order to change my situation? When you think too much like your mother, you will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and keep expressing. You ever notice that women have to have that? This is who women are. That's not their mind does not work. It doesn't think about execution like that. Not saying it won't, but I'm saying execution is not the top of the list. If anything, it's expressing an emotion and engaging in this emotion and riding it out and kind of seeing where things go. That's their thing. And you have a generation, two or three generations of men who think their feelings mean so much. I had a conversation, and I'm like, damn. So this guy's telling me about some stuff that he went through in his childhood. And I'm like, bro, you're grown. Like you're grown. Why are you telling people this? Like I'm saying in passing, and it's because again, being raised by your mother, you think these are things that you think you want people to know what you're basically something very personal about you. Because he told me something that was very personal about himself, and I'm like, damn, and it's because people who engage in the victim mindset, they love to tell you something about themselves that make you say, "Oh my God, you went through that," or "Oh my God," but it is okay to speak on your past and whatnot. But it didn't help me to understand them better. It was more like, all right, that's a very basically you're being too vulnerable. That's another thing too. Men don't understand. There is no need for you to be very vulnerable with everybody. There's no need for that. If anything, what it does is make you want to always be vulnerable. Always be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is you're always sharing feelings, and you're always telling someone how to get to you. That's another reason why black men cannot get caught up in who's racist and who's not racist. Because don't get me wrong, something different if someone's in your face or doing something to you directly, and you have to act and have to respond, right? But always, I'm not gonna say using that, but we can kind of see the damage it does to the black psyche and our self-esteem by trying to label everyone as racist. I'm saying if they disagree with us or if we're not getting out of our way, and that's one of the main tools that like really broke people like to do. I remember I was showing y'all basically like the face of Kendrick Lamar fans or the average Kendrick Lamar fan, and it's this nigga that basically I first saw him doing videos outside. I watched more of his videos, and he has a video on YouTube where he's getting wherever he's at. They had to kick the door down because obviously he didn't open the fucking door. So the door's getting kicked down, and he knows they're about to kick it down. And he wants to kick it down. And he records it. You know what I mean? And he gets arrested on camera, right? And in the